Good evening. This is the Park and Recreation Commission meeting for Thursday, November 16th, 2023. I'll call the meeting to order, and we do have a quorum. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of minutes for the Park and Recreation meeting for October 26th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion or corrections? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. No unfinished business this evening?
Correct.
And new business, we have an Eagle Scout presentation again this evening, a Hammock station in Riverside Park by Brody. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, my name is Brody. I'm from Troop 226. I'm here to discuss my Eagle Scout project. My Eagle Scout project is planning to put two hammocking stations in Riverside Park. The plan is to dig 6 holes in the ground that are at least 4 to 5 feet deep, and around at least 13 feet apart. Construction, and then we'll be putting the holes in the ground. We're pouring concrete into them. Concrete will be made on site, and the holes will be 6x6s. We'll be putting some eye bolts for the hooks and rubber caps to slow down any sort of corrosion of these poles. Any excavation will be moved to a location decided by the Parks Department. Any funding, all the concrete in the water for this concrete, all the digging equipment is already being supplied. The 6x6s, the eye bolts, and the rubber caps, as of this time, are still not acquired, but as of right now, we're in the process of getting them. The timeline for this project will be today I'm doing the city meeting. December 2nd, I'm going to be meeting with the BSA and seeing and getting their approval. Up until May, we'll be calling Digger's Hotline and trying to get the rest of the equipment and materials needed. I want to start construction early May, and everything, including all the paperwork that I need to do, will be finished by July 1st. I want to start construction no later than June 1st as well. Is there any questions?
Have you decided which one you're going to do, or the inline one, or the?
I'm leaning more towards the one that has the one that's a little bit of the curve.
Okay.
I'm leaning more towards that because it'll be easier for people to communicate with each other.
Oh, good idea.
Any other questions?
So the way we understand it is you'll just be putting the posts in with the eye bolts, and then people will put their own hammock on there when they're hiking and they want to relax for a little while.
Yes.
Okay. In the park, you guys all approved this?
Yeah, so I met with Brody over at Riverside Park. We walked the location. We talked about different locations throughout the property. We felt this might be a good location, parking nearby, the trail nearby. It won't conflict with the pavilion or any rentals or anything like that going on, or the disc golf. So it's another amenity we can place in the park and not conflict with anything else that's going on. Brody's got a good plan as far as augering goes and equipment and the concrete and all that stuff. I told him the spoils they excavate out, we can keep those right on the property. We have plenty of room. We can just level that out. Again, for future maintenance for us, there is virtually no maintenance with something like this. Mocking's kind of one of those, I'll say, hobbies, pastimes people enjoy to do. I can tell you on a personal note, I've done it with my daughter. She's in college, whatever, that's what some of the folks do, hike out to certain locations on properties and hang out and chill out and all that. So the location isn't 100% ADA compliant, but at least we can get a walk path close to it, things like that. So, and we also thought the location with the trees, certain parts of the day, you're gonna have some shade there, so you're not just baking. Also, people can see it from this location. And Brody liked the location, so.
Nice.
Will you have any signage indicating what it's used for?
I mean, I didn't think about that. I can probably put something in. It wouldn't be that expensive. I mean, it wouldn't be that expensive at all. I could probably do that.
Yeah, any other questions for him?
Yeah. I'm just curious. Are these projects? This project, I guess in particular, is it something that the Parks Department asked for, or is it something that Brody came up with on his own, or are the scouts tasked with that, coming up with the project yourself, or?
I came up with the project by myself.
Nice.
I thought of it. I thought of it when we were discussing our hike venture up in Wyoming. We were discussing how we probably could have gotten a better sleep, and I kind of was like fooling around saying that it would be fun to put my hammock up, and I was saying maybe I should put like some 2 poles in the ground in my backyard and just put a hammock up. 5 seconds later, it's like, and then that's how I made my Eagle Scout project. 5 seconds later. So far as I'm concerned, the my Boy Scout troop is says it's a good idea. But it's like I said before, it still has to go through the BSA regulatory and other stuff.
I agree. I think it's a good idea too.
Yeah, it's better than people
very
tying hammocks onto trees and things.
Yeah, right.
And, the question's been asked, this evening and prior to tonight, will we have hammocks out there? And we won't. People can bring their own, things like that. And part of that is also, if we have hammocks out there all day long, they could be wet, they could be damaged, it could be this, could be that. So a lot of hammocks are this big. People throw them in the back of their SUV, whatever. So, yeah. No, it's, again, for us, it's kind of a maintenance-free, some string trimming, some, mowing around it, but nothing extravagant as far as maintenance goes.
I'd make a motion to approve the project.
I'll second the motion. Just want to make a comment. I'd like to say it's nice to see you plan this far enough ahead for next summer and spring to do this, that you're got everything worked out now to get it taken care of.
Thank you.
And thank you. Good job, Brody. Thank you.
So there's a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? Otherwise, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Brody.
Next on the agenda, parking hours for the proposed ordinance change for the parking lot downtown.
All right. In an effort to provide additional parking in the downtown area, our department is requesting that the newest parking, we have the 2 new parking lots for the Riverwalk. The north parking lot is publicly owned. That southern parking lot is privately owned. And we are requesting that northern parking lot be available 24 hours a day. That would fall into any other public parking lot. Recently, the commission and the common council approved 24-hour parking like the Kister lot right across the street from Regner Park. This would fall in that same ordinance section. A basic sign, basic signage would go up, identifying as public parking 24 hours a day. The police department's in 100% approval or agree with this change, and they can enforce any laws that they need to as far as, people aren't going to be parking down there for days and days and weeks and junk cars and all that. So we are requesting this ordinance change. If the commission approves it, it would then go to common council for their approval and then implementation probably sometime in January of '24.
I think we expected that this was the plan. It's just this is making it formal.
Correct. And I was, earlier this year, we had this request for the Kister lot and the Riverwalk. I didn't include this lot because it was piles of dirt and soil, and I wanted the commission and the community to kind of see what it's going to look like before people are asked to make decisions on something. So that's why we just kind of left this one out at that point in time.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I was down there the other night and saw the lights underneath the Washington Street
Yep.
Bridge were lit up, so it's real nice down there now.
Yeah, it looks nice. It
Yeah.
turned out real well. Yeah.
Next on the agenda, rental fees for Lawrann Conservancy.
All right. Recently, the board for the Friends of Lawrann met and discussed potential fee increases and changes for that facility out there, the Marin Center and the barn, restrooms, everything. Their suggested changes that are before the commission this evening would include a $25 increase to the fee for the Marin Center, the barn and interior restrooms. We always had the AV package as a special package if you rented that room. That whole AV system has been basically revamped in the last couple of weeks, and we're just gonna make it available to all renters who use it for the Marin Center. It doesn't work for out in the barn, things like that. So that would be another change, that it's just there available for anyone. Also, in the past, we always had a $500 premium fee for weddings that were booked 24 months in advance. We just want to provide our that opportunity to those weddings just 24 months out. We're trying to make the wedding package more attractive. We had one wedding this year. Next year we have how many, Carolyn? 10. So a good marketing campaign. I think that has part of it, or that's part of the equation as to why we have more weddings, but we're just trying to make it more feasible for brides and grooms to reserve that facility early enough. So
That helps with scheduling too, I think that.
Yep, absolutely. On the second page, it's pretty much the layout for the suggested changes. Nothing too, I don't think, too exciting, too drastic. The last time these fees were updated was 4 years ago, so it's probably not the worst thing to do is take a look at the fees and make some adjustments. So that's what we have.
I'm glad the wedding package didn't have to increase, that they could keep that at 3,000.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was increased a couple of years ago. I don't know, everything fluctuated a little bit. The numbers of weddings dropped, but also wedding venues in our area increased, the type, the numbers and all that. And I think people have kind of rediscovered that our wedding venues more affordable. The users have to do more work as far as prep and setup and all that, but it's a lot cheaper than some of the other facilities in our area, so. A lot more affordable, I should say.
Any questions? I think it's just the increase, $25. It's cost of doing business. And like you said, it hasn't been raised in a few years, so. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Next, sculpture donation and placement, Highland Breeze.
Sure. This evening, Michelle Nass with the Westman Friends of Sculpture is with us.
I'm back.
Yes. To give us a highlight as to the Highland Breeze sculpture. Just give me 1 second before you jump in. The commission did approve a different sculpture at this location. The sculpture committee requested that maybe they would like to move that and maybe put it somewhere else, that sculpture. And maybe this location might not be the most ideal for that piece in this location. So Michelle and her team had this piece ready to go, basically. So,
We did.
so that would be the proposed change this evening.
So it's on, the picture of it is on the page. I know a couple of you,
Yep.
Dan,
We
has
all have
gotten
a
to see
picture in
it.
front of us.
So it's Corten steel piece. It will be at the north roundabout off of 33. The planting beds are, I believe, they've planted 120 bulbs, roots and branches, so it'll be a comprehensive garden plan. Like I said, we had piece was supposed to go at Cedar Lakes Conservation Foundation's office, but we had to do much more work there than we anticipated, and since this piece was ready, and Mike was nice enough to have everything set for sculpture, and all the engineering was done. So we're gonna try to get that piece in after approval yet this fall. It looks like we're gonna have nice weather for a while, so.
During the construction or reconstruction of Main Street, we got basically Michelle's specifications for the previous sculpture that was gonna go here, as far as the base goes and things like that. And we can use, during the construction, then we incorporated that into that island down there. So that gravel base and everything's in already. We ran electricity under for uplighting and things like that. So everything we did in preparation for the other sculpture, we can use for this sculpture. I mean, it's ready. It's there. It's ready to go. So
And the specs line up and everything as far as holding the weight and all that kind of
Everything.
thing? Yeah?
Yep,
Perfect.
everything transferred over, so.
Awesome, awesome. It's a great piece for that spot, too.
It's a great piece. We had a kind of a difficulty finding a home for that piece because it does have some sharp edges, and I think the roundabout will keep people
Yeah.
at bay, hopefully.
Yeah, there's not traffic across there.
No,
And then once
no.
the
Yeah,
vegetation gets in there and everything.
exactly.
yeah, Roots and Branches, they put a planting plan together. Like Michelle mentioned, they're starting with the bulbs this year. They took out a bunch of plants before the construction. Dan worked with them. All those plants are stored up at Sunset Park. They're going to be bringing those plants back in and more next spring. So Roots and Branches is all excited about it. Like Michelle said, if we can get that sculpture moved in there now before all the plantings in and all that, it just sequence-wise, it really kind of falls in line.
And I don't think we're gonna need any, like, road assistance to, like, block it. I mean, I think we're okay on that. If we do, I'll just give you a call.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
That's no big deal.
Okay,
That's not a big deal.
sounds good.
That's easy.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
The motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you very
Michelle.
much.
That is it. Now we go on to reports. Chairman, I'll say congratulations Delta Defense for the support of the beach house. They got named, it was in the paper the other day, the what do you call the room again? The community room is going to be the Delta Defense Community Room. So congratulations and happy Thanksgiving to commissioners and staff. Thanks for everything you do to make our great parks great. So that's all I got. Anything?
Yeah, I would just like to acknowledge and thank the scouts, both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. We've had so many projects. Last weekend, we completed a Girl Scout Gold project at Glacial Blue, and the weekend previous, an invasive clearing at Glacial Blue. And now with this project, they've been enhancing the parks, and we really appreciate their efforts and thank you.
Good point. Thank you. And Rick sent us an email, kind of talked about the Camp Lodge. I looked at it, the new doors and windows and siding looks really nice. Dan, do you have anything tonight for us?
I have a couple things. Some highlights for this past month. Rolled shoulder mowing and all of our prairie mowing have been completed. So all of our seasonals are officially gone. So we had Willie and Rick McGarvey helping with that. Touch base with what Craig just hit on with the Eagle Scout project out at Glacier Blue Hills. We ended up chipping up over 2 chipper trucks full of brush. I've never seen that much brush done by a volunteer group before. So fantastic. This week we've been putting all of our focus into the swim pond. We ended up renting a 6-inch pump. We got it all, well, there's water constantly moving into it, but it's empty. Next week, Monday afternoon or Tuesday first thing in the morning, BMCI will be in there to do excavation to rebuild that so that we can go forward with our inflatables that we talked about. This week, the guys actually just completed today. They poured 2 pads and they put in 2 new lifeguard stands, one on the north end and one on the south end, which Ryan purchased to get more coverage. We did save Ryan's dummy from the pond. We'll talk about that another time. Other than that, crews have been busy. We've been out in the parks trimming oak trees that we normally can't get at it earlier in the year, trying to raise stuff up for the mowers, working on tree lines. Just did a bunch of stuff for another contractor down in Corporate Continental. They asked for some special attention on the trees down there. Kind of switching modes into all forestry, road right-of-way, land clearing projects. Gonna be short-staffed, obviously, with deer hunting coming up and Thanksgiving next week, so we'll be working on switching equipment over and getting ready for winter. So that's what I
Winter
got.
coming?
Yeah. Sooner than later.
Thanks. And we did get that email too that said out of Lawrann, she's getting ready for winter too with the snowshoe rentals, and the free snowshoe rental. I was glad to see that pad got replaced. That was a tripping hazard going into the barn.
Yep, yeah, the north ramp, or the ramp on the north side of the barn was replaced. And with that, the spread footings and everything went in, so at any point in time, we want to do an overhang on that side to match the east side of the barn. What we put in the ground will facilitate, anything like that, so. Yeah.
Nice. And Recreation Supervisor, Ryan, you got anything?
Few things. Completed a lifeguard certification course, so we have 3 additional guards that were hired through that. Completed it, 1 that was already certified, and then I've also obtained an additional beach house attendant at this point. I have another lifeguarding course coming up in March, and then I've been corresponding with Vito, the aquatics manager at the YMCA, so I'm just waiting to get his 2024 dates for their lifeguarding courses so that I can pass that on to anyone that wants to work at Regner that's not able to make my March course. Started staffing the ice rink, so planning all things for that. I have the staff meeting, training, so on and so forth for all of that crew on Monday the 27th, so get them out there for an hour, kind of orient them with everything. And then once Dan's able to, him and his guys will fill the pond, and then we just have to keep our fingers crossed for ice skating weather. The winter and spring activity guide was mailed out. Registration for residents opens on next Tuesday, and then non-residents the following week, so looking forward to getting in all of the registrations for that and starting to plan all of the staffing for the spring programs and winter programs that we have going on. And then just a lot of preparatory work for summer 2024 for me at this point. So getting all the lifeguards in line and communicating with everyone for the various things that I'll need them for in the summer. So.
Nice, thank you. Any questions for Ryan? Or Dan? No? And Mike, Director, you have anything?
I'm just gonna go back to Lawrann quick. The ramp, solar lights, the new trail out there this year, and Dan's staff, Courtney, the Friends Group contractors. I should have brought the entire list along. We reviewed it last night at the Friends board meeting, but $43,000 worth of projects, improvements out on that property this year with that group. So all of our revenue, as a reminder, all of our revenues and that we generate out of Lawrann stay out of Lawrann with our Friends Group. And it's their responsibility to also pay for the utilities, gas, electric, and all of that. So to keep that budget balance and, pay for all of that and these improvements, I mean, that's $43,000 in capital improvements. That's not the maintenance dollars and everything else beyond that. So it's a fairly impressive group of people that we have out there doing what they do. So it's been like that for decades, and it's really cool to be part of that success. So great job with them. Ryan touched on it a little bit. I know it's November, December, but we're already in contact with all of our 2024 special events. Ryan's already got a schedule set for the Mud Run, contacting sponsors and t-shirts and all of those things. We have a new communication director. We met with them today. One of Carolyn's goals and her staff going into next year is additional marketing with some of those folks for our events, our programs, our happenings out of Lawrann, and our facilities that we have, our different buildings and things like that. So we're really trying to push exposure, making sure our community understands what we have to offer. It's, their parks, their system, we want to make sure people can enjoy it and fill it, we don't like to see parks idle or quiet. We want to see a lot of different people out there. So events for next year, we're going to be 55-ish events again. We met with someone who's looking at a possibility of a tap yard. Ryan's looking at some dates for the beach house, working with a vendor, having some adult beverages and entertainment, things like that there. Again, we're trying to generate some revenues, offset some of our costs with the lifeguards and recreation, So we're trying to do our best to cover some of our costs with some of those increases with our guards and all that stuff. So I think 2024 is going to be pretty awesome. Ryan's already got a pickleball tournament penciled in and Regner Park. So yeah, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything for a good of the order?
Just like to say 55, you know, I still haven't heard some of these numbers before. That's a lot of freaking events. That's awesome. That's awesome. Our first department's amazing.
2007 or something like that, we had 11 events. No, it was even 2000, it was even closer, yeah. Oh, yeah, we've had like, yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
insane.
Thank you, guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic.
people must like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go figure.
All right. Being no further business, I adjourn.